Hello,
And
we're live. I'm here with Chuck from At Breaking Thin. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. So while some people get in here, and hello J and A, here you go. Uh, oh, I got to do one thing. We might pause for a second, but I have to do one thing really quick. I realized my VPN is on, and that's we're back. We're back. Sorry about that. That was me. That was all me. Oh, are we still here? No. Okay, good. You can hear me?
I am. I am
Okay.
here.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so tell me a little bit about how you arrived to the keto carnivore universe.
Yes. All right. I had my in now then messed up. Now can you still hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
My channel started playing the live stream through my headphones, and so
Oh
you were
no.
repeating everything again. Yeah. So how did I end up doing keto?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. So predominantly for really early childhood through my probably my middle teens, I was really overweight, obese a lot of that time. I lost some weight early on, but then all of my adult life, I've been either sometimes pretty morbidly obese. I was probably above 270 or close to that at one point in time. And I just tried all kinds of stuff. And I've tried diets my whole life. And so probably about 4.5 years ago, I found actually intermittent fasting first, which, I lost a few pounds, but I ate total junk, on the days when I was eating. And then I found keto. Actually, what probably was at that time like mainstream keto with, lots of the vegetables. It was like high fat, but pretty low protein, like still only 10, 15%, maybe 20. And I started doing that. So that's how I just found it on the web. And I thought, yeah, I can maybe do that. And I did. And I had some success for a while. I lost probably over 50 pounds, but I was still eating junk. I mean, like keto snacks and keto bread, and I was still eating just bad stuff. And that ultimately led to me just coming totally off the rails. I gained a bunch of that weight back, and not all of it, but a bunch. And my wife just found Dr. Ken Berry's YouTube channel one night. And I started watching his videos. And so then I started again. I started pretty seriously, probably, I don't know, a little over a year ago, doing really strict keto, like whole food keto. But within 4 or 5 weeks, I would say I started doing pretty much what I do now, which is fairly strict carnivore. I mean, depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Fairly strict carnivore.
I know. I understand that. Yeah, I get that. And so, how much weight have you lost? I was trying to figure out showing your before and after picture on the thumbnail, and it didn't work out.
Yeah. So the highest I remember actually stepping on the scale
Okay.
was 264. But my wife, and from that picture, especially the before and after picture, my wife thinks I was substantially, more than that. So I may have been 270 or thereabouts. I'm 5'6", so
Okay.
I'm not real tall.
Yeah.
But this morning I weigh 161, and
Nice.
that is it's the lightest I've been since probably the early 80s.
Oh wow. And you
So,
look fantastic.
well, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
Now, I just had a guy leave a comment on one of my videos. It said, "Thanks, but I can't take advice from someone who looks like they have one foot in the grave." So I told him it was just the lighting. That in person I just look like I'm on the edge of the graveyard. Maybe not even close to the graveyard.
That is the perfect response. Oh my god. Oh my god, trolls.
Most of the comments I get are actually really good, but I'm sure you experience this too. I always get one or two that are, no one extremely, that's probably one of the harshest, and that's not exactly harsh. But I just always try to be, I just said thanks for commenting, and I try to
Yeah.
respond without being, nasty or anything.
Yeah. Totally. I understand. What is your like favorite thing that has happened if weight loss, I mean, in addition to weight loss, I consider that like a bonus now, even though
Yeah.
that's why I came here.
Yes. I think that's why most people come originally.
Yeah.
Um, is because of that. Which, and I hear a lot of people, and I understand their take. It's like it's not about weight loss; it's about your health.
Right.
But I always think back, and I think, okay, I get that, but at 270 pounds, I was never going to be healthy, right? I mean,
Hmm.
weight loss is part of it.
Sure.
So, but yeah, besides that, well, first of all, and I'm sure you realize this too, just how you feel mentally, and not just mental clarity, just how you feel about yourself. I
Right.
mean, the fact that you just walk different, you kind of carry yourself different. You
Hmm.
just feel like a different person.
Yeah.
Yeah, health wise though, um, I was pre-diabetic. I had pretty significantly high blood pressure. In fact, this was one of the other things that kind of got me into really being serious. I went to Walmart. They always have those little blood pressure kiosks sitting there, by the pharmacy. I would always check my blood pressure once in a while.
Yeah.
I went in one day, sat down, turned on the machine, and I'm not kidding. The message pops up. It says, "Seek medical attention immediately." That's how high my blood pressure was.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know if the kiosk was broke, but I immediately bought a blood pressure cup and started checking my blood pressure, and it was high, but not insanely high. But yeah, so now my blood pressure runs, like 110 over 78, maybe 115 over 78. I was pre-diabetic. My A1C score just came back. It was 4.5.
Great.
I used to have chronic sinus infections and allergies. I took a Zyrtec every day, plus Sudafed and Benadryl. Sometimes use nasal spray almost every day. I haven't taken an allergy pill for probably about a year. I would guess, maybe not quite, but 8 months.
Hmm.
Uh, what else? Gout was. I had severe, debilitating gout. 3 weeks on crutches where I couldn't walk. I took gout meds for about 10 years. I've not taken any for about 6, 7 months, maybe, and no gout flare-ups for about a year. My doctor was not pleased that I wasn't taking any gout meds, but if I'm not having gout attacks, I'm not going to take any. And then a bunch of minor stuff. I mean, things like people don't really think about. Like I used to have pretty bad gums.
Hmm.
I don't anymore. I used to have pretty bad dandruff, even though I used dandruff shampoo. I don't anymore. I had dry patches on my knees since I was 14. I don't have those anymore. So, I mean, those are things that are like, just like you were saying, bonuses. Those are kind of bonus things
Right.
that, well, it's awesome. But, it's not anything that, if you just say, oh, yeah, I did carnivore and I don't have dandruff, people are like, yo, who cares about that?
Right.
But for me, I didn't even notice for a long time
Hmm.
until one day I just realized, I had on a black shirt, and it's just like I don't have that issue. So,
Sure. That's great.
so,
Yeah.
so
I mean, it's
lots of things.
embarrassing though. And it's embarrassing or it can be
Yes,
embarrassing.
yeah, and in the few times I would ever wear shorts, I had really large, dry, cracked skin on both knees. But I don't have that anymore. Hey, so there's lots of minor things. When I was heavy, obviously my wife would always say she could hear me breathe at night,
Hmm.
right? And now she doesn't notice that. I used to snore some, not a bad, but all of those things again, and some of that's just because you lose 100 pounds. I mean, those kind of things happen, but
Yeah.
some of it is absolutely the drop in inflammation from
Hmm.
no vegetable seed oil. Almost all the vegetables have been cut out. Um, we do add some in on a day or two, but not the side dishes. But
Yeah.
my wife would put onions and green peppers and eggs or stuff like that. But most of my days are predominantly carnivore. So except for we
Okay.
use pepper,
Oh,
right? I mean, we do some stuff that I drink coffee. Some people don't, they're not too
I'm not
keen on that.
sorry, please.
But outside of that, actual
Yeah.
vegetable intake is extremely small, and it's only maybe 2 out of 10 days or so. A lot of times I say I do 80% carnivore. 8 out of 10 days are
Okay.
usually pretty strict carnivore.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty strict myself. I feel like crap when I don't. But I was watching your video today and you mentioned sauerkraut, and I'm like, oh my God, I totally want to eat sauerkraut. And all day
Oh,
I've been thinking about it. And I'm like, it's going to take at least 8 days to make if I go get a cabbage right now.
yeah.
But this,
We have this year. We live in the country, and we always plant a garden. And
yeah,
now this year, my wife is just. In fact, I asked her, "Why did we plant the garden? Like I have to rototill, you weed, you do all this stuff,
yeah,
and like you're just giving everything away." Because we don't eat any of it, hardly ever. But the thing that we would always eat in the past was my wife loves tomatoes, but
yeah.
and she's been doing this with me. And this year, she's really discovered that when she eats tomatoes, I mean, she doesn't have to eat very many at all, and it really inflames her joints. Her joints ache after she eats tomatoes. So now we have a bunch of tomatoes. If you were across the street, I could not that you would want them maybe, but if,
Probably not.
but if you were across the street, I'd offer you some.
Oh,
But
thank
yeah,
you.
so
I'm a little far away.
yeah, but so that's one of the things that you discover is that things that you never realized. I hear people say that all the time. You don't realize some food bothered you because it
Yeah,
was just standard operating practice to feel like that all the time. So
yeah, and I had no idea. I was suffering, I guess, from IBS. I keep calling it IBS, but I don't have health insurance. I just never went to the doctors. But I had chronic diarrhea for like, I call it chronic. If I'm getting it at least once a month, I think that's chronic, like a bout of diarrhea, um, for years. And within a week of carnivore, my stomach inflammation, everything was gone. And the two reasons I say I came to carnivore was to handle the IBS and lose weight. And then a ton of other stuff happened, which is crazy. I wanted
and
to. Oh, let me
no, go ahead.
here. Let's see. JD Morgan, carnivore 14 months, was pre-diabetic, had NAFLD. No, do you know what that means? NAFLD?
I do not.
Okay, JD, if you're still here, please let us know what NAFLD is. No longer pre-diabetic, however, still have elevated liver enzymes, trying to get my uric acid levels down. Any suggestions? Um, I have no idea. I'm not a doctor, but maybe
So yeah, the liver enzymes. The only thing that I would say there's a couple things I read actually in a private forum just a few days ago. Depending on how much weight you've lost, it is not ideal to get your blood work done for at least 4 months after you've been pretty stable. So, I had mine done just last week. I got the results last Friday, but there are certainly things that are probably on the edges of the reference ranges. But most of my blood work looked really good. But I've lost, like 85 pounds in the last 8 months, or something like that. And that's really not. It really does stress the body. So that's one thing. The other thing on uric acid, and again, all I know is what I've asked doctors. Yeah, mine is extremely high now. They want it to be below 8.4. And if you've had gout, they want it to be below 6. My uric acid level is currently 9.2, just last Friday. But here's what I've been told by a doctor, not my doctor, but a different doctor. And that is, he doesn't care. Like, if you're not having gout, who cares? In fact, that's something that normally is not even tested. If you just go and get a normal checkup and blood work run, they don't even check your uric acid. So nobody even knows what your uric acid is unless you have gout issues. So, I mean, would I like to see mine at 7? Well, yeah, I mean, sure, I guess, but I don't know. How do you lower it? Obviously lose weight. I've done all the stuff that you can probably do. I don't know that I'm going to make mine go down, but as long as I'm not having gout attacks, I don't care. But, that may not be the smart thing. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But I'd say the liver enzymes, if you've lost a lot of weight, I'd get your blood work done after you kind of stabilize and see what it looks like.
Great. Awesome. I want to pull up another comment here because this seems very similar to me. So, J and A, I am also female. I'm 39. I will be 40 in September. I am 5'4", and when I started Also, I have a thyroid condition, so you might be better at the weight loss than me and faster. But I started at almost 210 pounds, 209.8 pounds, and I'm down to 179 or 180, depending on the day, maybe 181. You can't really look at the scale every day because that can get annoying. But I also had hormone issues, and within I don't have PCOS. I have undiagnosed endometriosis, but you probably have a little bit of understanding with that, and that totally changed. It changes a lot after you have kids, but my symptoms really, the last lingering symptoms changed within like 3 weeks of doing the carnivore diet. Also visceral fat. Not, I don't have diabetes, but I've interviewed plenty of people that have had type 2 diabetes and they reversed it super fast. I mean, within a year. Semi-retired Bob, Sean White, the intentional carnivore. So please have faith and stick to it. And you're gonna love it. And I always say, eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Eat it. Eat a lot of it. But I did mention I wanted sauerkraut, so someone mentioned pickled eggs.
So, Dr. Jason Fung, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him at all, but he's a kidney specialist.
Yeah.
I've actually seen a lecture of that he did not too long ago, actually presenting to medical professionals. And he did a lot of case studies. He had many, and I mean many, type 2 diabetics. And normally he's not seeing those patients at kidney centers until they've been type 2 diabetic for years, sometimes 2 decades. He has had just dozens and dozens of patients that he's taken off medication within 5 to 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Now, that is strict, low carb, intermittent fasting, sometimes extended fasting. I mean, it's under supervision, obviously, right? And it's a very strict protocol. But yeah, he has just reversed incredible results, and in very short periods of time, and long before they even lose all their weight, right? I mean, it's just the fact that you cut out the carbohydrates virtually completely, and again, that's not necessarily you want to do that at your house, unsupervised if you're on medication, but yeah, absolutely, you can absolutely do it.
Totally. All right, let's see. Someone's helping me here. Hint, hint. Sauerkraut for the taste. Consider making. I think it's pickled eggs.
Pickled eggs.
Same taste. My wife wins. I'm making the yolk a bit soft. Store bought is often a sandpaper yolk. Ugh. I'll Google how to do that. I'll Google how to do pickled eggs and see if I can figure that out. That might be good. Is that also I guess it would be fermented, right? A pickled egg.
Yeah. Well, it would probably not. It would just be done in vinegar, I would think, of some kind, like pickles. So not really fermented. Not quite like sauerkraut.
Okay. Yeah, I think I want the fermentedness, but I'll try that. I want to pull up this. I too have undiagnosed. Okay. All right. Wow. We're like sisters here. We are sisters. We're right around the same age, same crap. This is gonna help. I also this is not carnivore, but if you want, get evening primrose oil. It's gonna help. Between carnivore and evening primrose oil, I think that's like the magic formula to get rid of endometriosis. Also, making babies helps. Okay. Don't know if you want to do that. All right. Who else has some questions here? Questions, comments, anything.
So I want to ask you something. While the people are typing their questions, I have a question. So can I actually also see if someone posts on my stream? Can I see in the comments on this or no?
I think so. It's supposed to.
I paid people to watch, but I guess you're not. I didn't. You got to do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying?
On those paid subscribers.
Yes, I'm gonna have to get my money back.
I'm sure some of these people. Yeah, everyone, there's 17 people watching. Can you all let us know where you're from, why you started carnivore? Let's see. I think. Here we go. JNA, I'm glad you found me also. Thanks for saying that. Okay. Brooke, I started keto in late August 2018 at 210. Wow, I didn't realize that, and got down to 170, but I put on almost 20 pounds during lockdowns. Oh, yeah. It's the Netflix weight. I started carnivore at the end of March at about 190 and down 163. awesome. That is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done, Brooke.
All of those things. I'll tell you. So, Aaliyah, do you get? Oh, okay. So, see, finally, someone showed up.
Is this your child or no?
Can I put a comment up? I don't even know.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do I do it?
Oh, you just type it in the comments. Do you have
No,
like a little
I mean, can
PC
I put a
comment?
comment? Can I put a comment up on the banner?
Oh yeah. Go. Oh no, which comment would you like me to put? That's only me, I think. You can try it, but
Okay.
I don't think it'll work. I think that's me.
Fairlight Heckman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't have to get my money back now.
Is that a wife or a child?
That is my youngest daughter.
Oh, okay. My dad, baby.
It is so you've just started your channel as well,
Yeah, I
right?
started in March, but there was a month in April I had to go out of town. I was working, so I couldn't really work on it, and so I really got back into it recently.
So that is one of the things when you ask about doing keto or carnivore, besides the weight loss, like the fact that I'm doing YouTube videos is almost still just a little surreal, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea if anybody would ever click on a video, and watch it. Besides in the beginning, when I would say, please go watch my video and click like and subscribe, right? Because I don't want to be at 3 subscribers.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it is just crazy. I mean, the difference in my life today compared to what it would have been is just hard to describe, right? I mean, and I'm sure for you, I mean, you do things today that you would have never done if you hadn't started doing keto or carnivore.
Right. I mean, at the beginning of July, we went to. I live in South America. I live in Colombia, and I live near a beautiful mountain, a beautiful town called Salento, and there's this very mystical, magical place called the Valle de Cocora. And I think that if you've seen the Disney movie Encanto, that's the area they were trying to set for that movie. So my kids, 5 and 7, by the way, like ran a kilometer up the mountain. It said kilometer. I don't know how whatever. It had stairs, by the way. It was like an easy path, but just the fact that I did that, and my husband and I were like, I don't think I could have done this before. Not in the state that I had been in years. Maybe before I had gotten obese and overweight. But yeah, that was one of the things, like, I don't think I would have done this years ago, or my back would have been hurting. And my back was like, by the time I got up there and I made one video that I made while I was there, my back felt amazing. It felt even better just from the exercise. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like an easy trot like my kids running, but it was fun. It was great. Yeah. Exactly. Sometimes I'm in my head and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm going to do a YouTube video about this. And I totally forget, but I'm like, I want to do a whole YouTube video. Life is there waiting for you to live it. It's not waiting for you to watch Netflix on the couch. I just say that. I don't even have Netflix, but I was watching a lot more TV. And even last night I started watching a movie, and then I ended up going for a walk with my husband.
Yeah.
Much better. And yeah.
Well, yeah. Part of it's not just about being alive in the end, right?
Yeah.
Because being alive is really not living. So at least not the way that most people want to. In fact, it is one other thing about the benefit of carnivore, which or even strict keto, but that type of style of eating is the onset of cognitive decline. Mm-hmm. It is probably the thing that's always worried me more than anything else. Like, in the past, you think, okay, well, nobody wants to get cancer, nobody wants to have a heart attack, but at least I might be dead then. What I don't want is to be alive but not have a mind.
Oh,
right?
Right.
And there is more and more research that comes out all the time about how inflammation, constantly elevated glucose, insulin, those kind of things, they drive dementia, Alzheimer's, those kind of things, right? In fact, they call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. Some people do now because it's actually the glucose and the constant inflammation that do that. And And so that's one of the things too in life. You don't want to end up just being alive, right? You want to be able to be as old and as you can, and be out and doing and being
Right.
and enjoying life, right?
Right.
That's why.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and that part is one other thing that people don't think about. Everybody wants to lose the weight, but it's not just to do that. When I'm 90,
Yeah.
I want to actually be able to do stuff, right?
Sure.
Not just sit in a chair somewhere and have people bring me my meal on a rolling cart.
Yeah, that's not really, yeah, exactly. That's the point. Life is there to be lived
Yeah,
and enjoy. And last
yeah.
night I was like, so my kids really early on learned how to give themselves a shower because the bending over, you know what I mean? Uh, but now I can bend over a lot easier, but they do know how to give themselves a shower. They want me to help them though. And I'm more inclined to bend over and pick up the soap they dropped on the floor now. It's just, you think these things are so dumb, maybe not you, but like in general, oh, that doesn't sound amazing. But all the little things like start adding up to a better life,
Oh,
a better
yeah.
quality of life.
Putting your socks on with both hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is like there is so much that you just, and that happens over, the weight gain happens so slowly over time that
Yeah.
you don't realize that a lot until one day it's like, oh, I can't just bend over and touch the floor anymore,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah.
can't really use both hands now hardly to get down and actually put on a sock.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, you don't even notice sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Oh, just about my kids. We try to make them independent early, but for me, for sure, bending over sucks, or it did suck before. That wasn't the main impetus, but
one of my second youngest daughter also,
yeah.
she said she lost baby fat from doing low carb and planned to do the same after this pregnancy. So our
Oh, is
youngest
that Alexis?
daughter,
Yeah. Oh, is this
yeah,
one? Oh,
yes.
okay.
So Alexis, her husband is a sergeant in the Air Force. They are stationed at
Oh,
Tinker Air Force Base, and I don't know if she wants me to say this. Sorry, redhead, if you care. And she's expecting her fourth
wow. Oh, wow.
soon.
Congratulations.
And our youngest daughter, who was up earlier, Fairlight, her husband's a captain in the Army, and they're stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, just not far from us at all. I'm in central Missouri.
Okay.
So Fairlight and her husband, Brett, they're in Missouri also. Alexis and Billy, her husband, they are in Oklahoma City, about 6.5 hours. And Fairlight just recently had their first. So
Oh, congratulations.
those are our youngest two daughters.
Nice. How many?
And I
kids do
may
you have?
get text messages in a few minutes saying, "Why are you talking about private information?" There's not enough people here watching. Don't worry, right? Like, I mean,
This will
that
be
we're
the video that goes viral.
yes. Well, that might be. My wife is watching, maybe, or she's watching someone more interesting, maybe. I ask her. I sometimes will play my videos. Dear, what do you think? And she's always like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's like
I understand this.
you're so encouraging, sweetheart. Thank you.
Yeah, I do understand that. Okay, so this is a nice comment. Ken and Shay, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you very much.
Glad you're here with us. All right, somebody's telling me about pickles. For pickled eggs, you can put hard-boiled eggs and pickle juice.
Yeah.
When I was a teen, we made them often. Great, I'm going to try that. Sounds better than sauerkraut.
And now, if you put them in like dill pickle juice, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be unsweetened and have that
yeah.
little bit of.
Okay,
So
I'll do that.
not sweet pickles, probably, unless you want the sugar.
Sure. Do you want to take this one first?
Yes. So we actually do use some element, but frankly, I mean, not that I don't like it. I think I find it pretty sweet because we don't do a lot of sweet, but I just don't like the cost. And so we make our own. We make our own electrolytes with Redmond salt and no salt. And we use a little bit of true lime and true lemon, which is just the powdered, lemon and lime.
Mm-hmm.
And we do put a small amount of stevia in ours, so not a lot, but
Okay.
we mix it up. We leave it in a glass jar with a rubber seal, and we just half a teaspoon in a glass, and that's what we use.
Nice.
I
I
have a
have.
video about that, by the way.
Oh,
I'll
I
plug
think
my
I'll watch.
channel.
I'm gonna go watch it after this.
I have a video on how to make your own electrolyte drink mix for 20 cents a serving.
Oh, I love
Electro
that.
Element is $1.50, but
Mm.
you know, and again, I like it. It's just we don't like the expense. So
Okay. Yeah, I understand. I
just in
use
case
salt.
they ever want to sponsor my channel, I don't
Oh,
want to say anything bad about them.
yeah. Too late.
Yes.
um, I take salt. I have a bag of potassium. It's not any. It's like a random brand we found in Colombia, and we have magnesium in the house, and we have some calcium. Maybe, maybe not. I don't remember. But I don't really. I don't have like the leg cramps anymore. Sometimes I feel like a leg cramp. So I just use salt. If I feel like I need potassium, I'll take some potassium.
When we were not first starting, but we did hit a phase where we both had leg cramps pretty badly, and we were drinking that probably twice a day.
Okay.
But now, if we're out working outside, or if my wife's doing lots of stuff outside, she will still do it. I still do it. I don't do it every day anymore. I'm like you. I don't really have too much issues with leg cramps unless I'm not drinking enough water or something like that now. But
Okay.
and we salt our food heavily though, so to make sure that we get enough. And
Sure. Yeah,
usually,
I
it's
salt a
pretty good.
lot. Sometimes my son complains, and I'm like, no, this is perfect. And everyone's taste is different. I answered this in the chat, but there
Yes,
you
it is. My official name is Charles, but I go by Chuck.
There you go, Chuck. And is Mr. Breaking Thin or Breaking Thin? Does it have anything to do with the show Breaking Bad?
Yes, I'll tell you what happened. I made
Okay.
my first YouTube channel. Don't go watch it. But I named the first channel No, but I Can Read. And I did, and that was because, like, it's like, are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Or are you a nutritionist? No, but I can read. That was kind of the thing, right?
Okay.
And but I just planned on doing kind of a number of different videos. And after about a week, I realized, no, what I really want to make videos about specifically is, what has happened with me by doing keto and carnivore.
Yeah.
And so then within after about 2 weeks, it's very short. I had my first few videos over there about weight loss and stuff. And I thought, I'm going to make a new channel. I didn't know what to call it, but yes, it was like Breaking Bad, only,
Okay.
I just did Breaking Thin. And I thought that's better. I'm just going to go with it. And I took the three weight loss and diet videos, posted them on my new channel, and just started putting out videos. So.
Nice. That's awesome. Everyone, subscribe to Mr. Breaking Thin. It's actually just Breaking Thin.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Breaking Thin would have probably been nice too. Maybe, I don't know. It's just Breaking Thin. I'm going to see if anybody has actually taken your advice and gone over to subscribe. Maybe
They will. They will.
I just broke 803.
Whoa, you're way ahead of me. I'm at 54. By the way, I'm in a race with Nicole.
I know that you are,
girl. But so I'm not gonna do a Pop-Tart. I'm gonna eat fried cow brain live on a live stream if I lose. So please help me win.
Oh no, what is that?
I'm gonna eat fried cow brain on our live stream.
Fried cow brain. Okay.
Yeah, so please come and subscribe to my channel. I don't want to do that. But if she loses, and she's at 700 now, if she loses, she's going to eat a Pop-Tart on live stream. She'd rather eat a Pop-Tart than fried cow brain. All right.
So if all the family members I paid to come watch, if you're still watching, go over to Alia's channel. I'm going to mispronounce your name all night. I'm sorry.
For 40 years. Don't worry.
Alia, go over and subscribe. Get her over 1,000.
Everyone in the Midwest just calls me Ollie. So you can call me Ollie. That's fine.
Are you from the Midwest, or that's just
Chicago.
people? I'm from Chicago. Really?
Yeah.
I was actually born in Cook County in Oak Lawn.
Oh, wow.
I
Small
was
world.
raised my entire life, well, from third grade, maybe a little earlier than that, in South Central Illinois, in a little town, very very small, called Newton.
Oh, wow.
Largest town in the county. It was 3,200, so it was the county seat. But yeah, I lived in Illinois for until I was probably 19. I was in the Army for a few years, and I went back for just a few years. But I've not lived there since. I've been in Missouri most. I've lived all over, but I've been in Missouri now more years than anywhere else. So,
That's awesome. Look, we're so similar. No.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love
I mean, it
all
is.
kinds
It's
of
just
stuff.
crazy. Uh,
Yeah. No, so yeah, my family growing up I was just Ollie, and then when I left, I just started saying my name's Alia because I didn't like continue the tradition, but when I go home everyone's like, "Hey Ollie." Okay.
yeah.
There you go. And then it makes it easier, Alia. All right. Michelle says tomorrow marks 60 days strict carnivore, 90 days without smoking. Huzzah.
Uh,
And 30 days zero alcohol. That's awesome, Michelle. That's fantastic. Very well done. Very well done.
yes. And that reminds me, by the way, the question about uric acid. I
Yeah.
don't know if it will help the level, but that is the final one of the very final things I did. I never have drank a lot, but I totally stopped drinking alcohol for really because I wanted to really just increase the weight of the rapid weight loss. Right, I didn't want it to be hindered, but that's when I noticed I really had no further gout flare-ups at all.
Oh,
So,
wow.
um, yeah, that's so if you have gout or you want to, I don't know if it helps your uric acid levels, but it does help gout flare-ups because if I was to go out and have a couple my-card lemonades and a big giant piece of cheesecake or something, I'd be in pain the next day. So
I
not a
understand.
good plan.
No. Mike's Hard Lemonade. It's been so many years. Okay. Brooke says, is it really true that stevia contributes to infertility? I don't know. I was taking tons of stevia and I got pregnant 2 times.
Yeah,
I only recently stopped stevia. I've
I,
heard, but I don't know if I can believe studies.
yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. I
That
don't
is,
know.
I'm well past that point now.
Yeah. I quit stevia not because of all the blah, blah, blah about heart conditions and what you're saying here. I quit it because it kept making me crave carbohydrates and sweets. So I
Uh,
quit it, and that was the last thing that now I don't crave that stuff.
yeah, we we do use it, and again, it's not ideal, right? Because the closer you can get to really zero carb intake or zero plant kind of intake is probably the best. But
Hmm.
everybody has to kind of find their place. We do use stevia when we make keto ice cream, and it is in our electrolyte, but we don't use it in any other time. So we don't use it in our coffee. We don't buy sweetened drinks. We don't use it
Hmm.
in drinks. So it's pretty minimal, and you know, we're okay with that. So,
Okay, great.
but some it does trigger carb cravings in some, and I've also heard that it actually does trigger a insulin response. The sweetness does trigger insulin response in some people, even though it's not like a sugar, just
Yeah.
because it's what it does. But you know,
Yeah.
what can you do?
I don't know. I'm just glad I don't crave it. So here's what Bob says. Ali, I mispronounce it every time, but I'm so old, so I'm allowed.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Here, Ali, Ali. Everyone here is allowed to call me Ali. I'll read. Yeah, you're all like family now, so it's fine. Let's see. Uh, if you have gout, you can either walk or drink, not
Yeah,
both.
not both.
Oh, okay. Wow, wow, wow.
Yes. If you take gout meds, you know, I did that for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And again, I never drank a lot, but um, I would still have flare-ups, you know,
Yeah.
and I had no idea what caused them or anything like that. But it did control them pretty well. But what it does to control it's artificially depress your uric acid levels. It does nothing to deal with the actual reasons behind it, which is all inflammation based.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't. It's like taking insulin if you're type 2 diabetic. Yeah, it doesn't fix anything.
Yeah.
It just helps to mask the real symptoms. So, but yes, now it's just not that I have never since, but those things are extremely rare because you just risk you risk a flare up if you do any of those things. So
Right, right. Like I stupidly ate cheese and I had a I'm going through my an uncomfortable menstrual cycle. I always talk about that. So sorry, you're gonna have to hear about it. Plus you have daughters and you have a wife. But I had quit dairy and then we got some cheese and cheese is like my binging thing. And then this morning I was like, why did I do this? Why did I do this to myself? And when you delete everything or whatever, eliminate everything, and you feel so much better. You know when you've done something stupid that your body
yeah.
doesn't like.
So does all dairy except for butter. I'm guessing. It's
Yeah,
dairy
I cut out
bother you,
the heavy cream. I do butter. I'll just sit and eat butter
right?
actually. But and that does nothing. But the cheese is like my drug.
Yeah. So we still use now. We're not right now, only
Yeah.
because I'm doing triple B and E.
Yeah.
But normally I do use heavy whipping cream in my coffee,
Okay.
and if we make ice cream, that's what we use. It's
Oh,
heavy
okay.
whipping cream, a raw egg,
Yeah.
a little bit of vanilla, touch of stevia in the ice cream machine.
Sure.
And my daughters say it's like eating butter. It's not really,
Mhm.
but it's full
Mhm.
fat, and so it
Uh,
has it
yeah.
has that feel. But yeah, no, I love cheese. I am careful. It doesn't bother me, nor my wife, we're really glad about that actually.
Yeah.
But I tried not to. Early on, I used to snack on cheese,
Mhm.
and that I try not to ever eat cheese except for with a meal now. So, if I'm having eggs, I can put a little on steak. I'll slice
Yeah.
some Parmesan or cheddar cheese to have on the side with it, but
Sure.
much more like a condiment as opposed to,
Right.
I mean,
A
back in the
meal.
day, I'd take a flour tortilla shell, fill it full of
Mhm.
cheese, microwave it, and put some sour cream on it and some
Yes.
salsa. But yeah, I mean, I don't do that anymore.
I don't either. Oh, I mean, so I don't know if I'm pretty sure it was the cheese that did it, the thing I just said, but like yesterday we went out with our friends and I had a sip of my friend's matcha tea, which I haven't done. Everyone was offering me what they were having, and that was like the least bad thing. And then my kids had some hot dogs, and I think there was a little bit of soy mixed in the hot dog thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was that set it off. This is what always happens. Like I will do something stupid, but it'll be like three stupid things at the same time. And then I don't
Yeah.
know
So you
what
don't know what it is.
yeah, I don't
You
know what
know,
triggered it.
and sometimes, um, which a lot of people ask this question. I was just thinking about it earlier because I hear this so much. Before I ever started doing keto or carnivore, no matter how I felt, I never attributed that to what I ate. Right. So it was never diet. It was just
Mhm,
whatever, you know.
mhm.
And I think lots of people are like that. Like you give no thought to the fact that it might have been something that you ate that bothered you, unless you just eat something you get sick right away, right?
Right, right.
After people come into keto or carnivore, everything that arises, it's like, oh, do I need to adjust my diet? Do I need to do? Sometimes it's just what it is, right? I mean, like you were just out, shopping, doing whatever. You're around a bunch of people. Maybe you just got a bug. I actually feel pretty good now, but I felt awful. I didn't eat until just a little bit ago.
Okay.
And I just felt really starting last night. And I don't know if it was just because I was stressed about the interview, which went really good. But, I don't know what it was. I went to bed
Yeah,
super late. I got up early. I just felt bad. And why? I mean, it's nothing I've eaten. I eat, it's more restrictive now than ever. So I don't know. It's
yeah,
just one of those things. It's not always just what I ate,
sure.
but for sure, if you eat something and yeah, you feel like crap, then and you eat it again next week and you feel like crap, you kind of narrow it down. At
Yeah,
least we can do that now where we couldn't before.
yeah, we
But
couldn't
sometimes people immediately think, oh yes, now I've been doing carnivore for 8 months and this is how I'm feeling. Like, what's wrong? Well, maybe you're just sick. I mean, you're not going to be impervious to every to
True.
every virus and bacterial infection for the rest of your life, right? I
Right.
mean, maybe you just picked up a bug. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
give it a few days.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say really quick, hey guys, we have 19, 20 people watching right now. If you all could hit the like button from wherever you are watching from, that'll get some more people in here. Uh, and we can do a little more talking. Okay, so Michelle says, my brother drinks a lot. He has gout and T2. can't convince him to change. Yeah, I understand. You just got to be setting the good example, and eventually, hopefully, people will follow suit. I think it's your family that's the hardest. Luckily, I have a very supportive husband who's basically almost carnivore, but not really.
I
He
was
knows
going to
better.
ask if he did that with you.
Um, like in the house, it's basically like carnivore, and we have fruit for the kids, and they're almost basically carnivore also. But when we go out, they'll get something. They'll
Right.
get
Okay.
something if they ask, or if we're out during the week, like we have to walk like 3, 4 blocks to the store to get junk food. So if the kids want something, we have to walk there and get it. It's not here. Uh, so
Yeah.
yes and no. He won't say that he's carnivore, but more maybe like
Yeah.
90%.
My wife actually does do this with me, which I and listen, I've had again in comments and also in the Dr. Barry's private group,
Yeah.
people actually literally will say, like, I'm trying to do this, and my wife and my teenage son or whatever, they just berate me or say what my food's not good enough for you. It is just it's a hard thing. So no, my wife, has never been big. She was very small when we got married, weighed 99 pounds. Now we've been married for almost 31 years, so she'd gained some weight. It's up to about 135, but
Okay.
again,
Yeah.
not a lot. But she's lost 20 pounds,
Oh, nice.
roughly. Or is that right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and she does do it with me, but because she cared, it was like,
Right.
yes, I don't want you to be dead next week, right? Or even even in a few months or a few years. So
Yeah.
she always said, I don't care about the weight, but I want you to be healthy. So, but no,
Yeah.
she does do it with me. She's even been doing triple B&E with me. Not extremely strict is what I've been doing,
Mhm.
but yeah, generally, I mean, she's doing it. It helps so much if you have somebody
Yeah, it
that
helps a lot.
at least doesn't deter you, right? Don't be an
Right.
obstacle, at least.
Right. Um, at least in my case, food is like the least important thing for my husband. So he loves it. And the fact that I'm not like, oh, I need to go buy these ingredients. I need to go buy this. I need to make this dish. Because now he can just make me some eggs and he's so happy.
No, no, I just
Or,
got a text from I got a text from one of my daughters.
yeah.
Said, "There's questions. Aren't you answering them?"
Oh, let's find them.
I
Let's
didn't
find.
know.
Oh, we do have one. Here's one. How do you guys get your fat in? Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs is the solution. And
Yeah,
butter and bacon.
and that's what we do. I try to eat. My wife eats probably more fat than I do. She will put extra bacon grease or extra butter on stuff. But I think generally, really, now and I don't know if you do this or not, but we generally do not count that. Like I guess I'm like 70-30,
I have
but
no
I
idea.
honestly have no clue.
I
What
have
we
no
eat
clue.
is egg. Well, eggs are basically 70-30, ribeyes 70-30, bacon, brisket. I mean, they're all like 70-30.
Yeah.
We just eat them. And
Right.
so my wife likes a little extra. We fry if we have lower fat stuff like chicken, it's skin on fried in bacon grease. And
Okay.
so you know, and then I still use heavy whipping cream and cheese, which is for me, I get, I'm able to get fat from that as well, but we've never counted that. Um, you know, so I don't know. As long as you feel
I
good,
don't.
I say just eat.
Yeah, eat until you're satiated and try to eat
Yeah.
higher fat stuff. That's why Dr.
Yeah.
Barry has the baked beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge or whatever you want to call it. He also mentioned sardines. Make sure they're not in olive oil because
Or
that
soy oil.
I did the sardine challenge and I felt like terrible. So I got myself off that. But I think it was
Yeah.
because the olive oil wasn't olive oil. So I would get it in uh, what's it called? Water. But
Water.
sardines is very fatty and that will make you feel full fast, actually. I can
Yeah.
never finish a can of sardines, but I can eat like 5 eggs and a bunch of bacon. All right, let's see. What else do we got here? Bob, I suffered for gout for 40 years. I know a bit about it. Yes, yes. And he says, I was told no booze in 1983. I did drink for my 30th. Oh, wow. That's
Oh,
terrible. I couldn't walk for 4 days.
yes. I have. I did a video about gout as well. I did have I just did never wanted to take medication for many years. And then my gout had gotten so bad, it spread to multiple parts of my body. I have gout in my knees, my lower back.
Yeah.
I do IT work to make
Oh, okay.
money.
Okay.
And I finally, in 2009, 2010, something like that, I started having gout in my elbows and my wrist. And so I could like go to work on crutches, but I couldn't move a mouse or like type on a keyboard. And I finally started taking gout medication. And I did for years until, recently, until I started doing keto and carnivore. But yeah, it is, if it's bad, it is extremely bad. Like nearly bedridden one time for almost 3 weeks. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That sounds horrible.
it is horrible. And gout meds help. I still had attacks, and some of them bad, but nothing like that.
Yeah.
But still, the whole issue was I didn't want to take prescription for the rest of my life.
Sure.
If I don't have to. I mean, if I have to, I have to. But if I don't have to, I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I think those drugs have terrible side effects. Any medication has a side effect to it. So best is how if possible handle something naturally.
Yeah.
I'm doing BBB and E. Went down the rabbit hole of carnivore sites, groups, and channels, so I started worrying about not getting enough fat. If you do that, you'll be good. You'll be all good.
Yeah. It's one of the things too. People do again. And look, I think in certain situations you want to do that. If you're young, if you're athletic, if you're training for something, maybe you need to count that stuff to maximize performance. But the thing I always think about is, in general, no animal in the world knows what a macro is, right? Yeah. No animal in the world except for in captivity is obese. Only humans, right? And no animals count calories. No, they eat. No, they don't even say, I'm going to eat 1 meal, 2 meals. No, they eat when they're hungry, and they eat till they're stuffed, and then they go lay down and take a nap. And that's a good plan, I think. I mean, maybe not in the middle of the workday, but
Yeah, exactly. I want to say, Elizabeth, I saw your comment. I'm sorry that I passed it, and I will go back to it in 1 second after we answer this question. Have either of you had friends stop talking to you? Not that I know of. No.
I don't actually have friends. No, I have not. Now, the only thing that I experienced early on was when I first started doing keto, people would say, if you told them what you were doing, you would always get, kind of, especially if you start talking about like reversing type 2 diabetes, people really will. But I'll tell you what I did. I just didn't, if somebody asked me what I was doing, I would tell them, but otherwise I just didn't. But now what happens is people ask me. It's like they see me and they think they ask one of two things. Are you dying from cancer? Because I've lost 103 pounds, 104 pounds, or
oh God,
or how did you do it? And so now that people are much more receptive, but no, I've not had anybody, not, think I'm crazy. Well, no, they probably do, but they don't tell me. But some of that is kind of how you are, because generally I wouldn't care that much, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
If they stop talking to me. So
running tap 12, I am sorry if your friends stop talking to you. Maybe they're not your friends. Maybe they're not your friends because they're not considerate of what you need to handle and fix in your life. And that's yeah. All right, Elizabeth Rosado. Hi all. I added a raw egg yolk to my coffee instead of dairy. Not sure if this is safe, but no issues yet. Well, I think if your coffee's hot, it's probably cooking it to some degree. I eat runny eggs, so it's
I've heard a number of people talk about it. In the past, again, I used to like not let the girls eat raw cookie dough, or I was pretty raw egg phobic. But I'll tell you when I got over that. It was when I had to make ice cream with heavy whipping cream and 1 raw egg, and I thought, raw egg. Okay. Now I like it, so I just keep doing it. But no, I don't think it's, there is some risk probably, but generally, and we get our own eggs, right? So
okay.
We have 14 some number of laying hens, so we get 8-10 dozen eggs not 8 or 10 dozen, 8, 10, or 12 eggs a
Oh,
day.
like,
Yeah, I
wow.
don't get 8 or 10 dozen,
You could
but we
tell
get
them.
somewhere between 8 and 12 eggs a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But I don't eat them raw. Like I've just never liked it.
Yeah.
But we do put them in the ice cream that we make if we make it. So
Okay. I think you're fine because unless it's like an iced coffee, it's going to cook it a little bit. And I think that you're all
yeah,
good. Let's see here. Brooke. Someone asked me recently about if I count macros. I explained that I just eat until I'm satisfied. Yes, I don't know what a macro
yeah,
is. So
that's
there
what I do.
you go.
I just eat now. I again because I don't want to lose very much more weight, and I've tried to started eating twice a day. I do eat almost until I cannot put another piece in my mouth.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but it's because I got down to where like my wife said, you probably don't need to lose any more weight.
Yeah.
Although I still have plenty of body fat that I could drop, but anyway, so I've tried to stabilize that a little bit, at least slow it down. So I especially when I was eating one meal a day, I really did try to eat as much as I could at that meal. But if you're eating 4 times a day and you're eating until you're literally stuffed, well, that might be a little overboard. But if you eat
Yeah.
when you're hungry and you eat until you're full, I mean, it's what every animal in the world does.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like what did I eat today? I ate like some sausages. They're not really sausages. We get this pork belly and we get the butcher to grind it up 2 times so you can make like patties out of it. So I had like maybe 5 of those, some eggs for breakfast, and then I ate some more patties around 2 or 3. Then I had some cheese. I think that's what I mean. I need to not eat that cheese. We don't have any more. We finished it off tonight.
Now, have you found? So I used to eat throughout the entire day at
Yeah.
night. I mean, I'd eat at 10:30 at night and go to bed. Um, but have you found that you no longer, at least for the most part, you don't really think about food very much?
I only think about it when I'm hungry, which is sometimes twice a day. Except
Yes.
except when I'm watching YouTube videos from carnivores that are talking about food.
And do you also have? So sometimes now I eat. Um, there are days now when I eat when I'm not actually hungry per se. Like I I don't ever get hungry like I used to. I mean, I
Yeah.
would used to be ravenously hungry,
Yeah.
right? You get shaky from the sugar drops.
Yes.
You just be ravenously hungry.
Right.
I never get like that ever.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
sometimes I will even have. I mean, I'll have days, and again, I try to eat twice a day now. But not that long ago, if I was eating once, sometimes a day, it might be 3 or 4 o'clock. I had not eaten, and I just realized I'm not particularly hungry,
Hmm.
but I kind of feel like I should eat. And
Yeah.
once I start, but I
Yeah.
don't have an appetite. Like, sometimes my wife will say, "What do you want?" It's like I don't really have an appetite. Even this evening, but I felt a little off today. But I wasn't particularly hungry, but I hadn't eaten, and so I sat down and I ate. But as soon as I put in a couple bites, it's like okay, yeah, and then I feel better afterwards. But
Right.
the hunger signals are. I've heard Dr. Chafee talk about hunger signals just are so different from if you're just eating carbs
Right.
all the time. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, it's way different. It's way different. I don't eat Tillamook cheese. I do not have access to Tillamook cheese, but I do love it. How about you?
what is that?
It's a brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can find it stateside. Let's see. JD Morgan. I never cook the egg yolks and have no problem at all. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, this is in response. Running tap 12. No, I haven't told too many yet. A guy at work couldn't believe vegan was unhealthy. I yeah, I know. I don't do it.
The only thing about if you go whole food vegan, the benefit comes almost exclusively from the fact that you've cut out vegetable seed oil, you've
Right.
cut out grain. Well, they may not cut out grain,
Maybe not cut out grain.
but
Maybe
if you, yeah, but cutting out vegetable seed oil and processed food is such a huge thing that is why initially they see benefits. But I
yeah.
think long term, when you see a lot of them, they don't look healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying none of them are, but I mean, again, I don't think it's optimal.
Sure.
Right?
I
I
mean,
don't think it's
mine.
what we're built for.
No,
So
I no. It's a theology. It's an ideology based on propaganda, unfortunately. And I have. Sorry, mom, if you're watching.
actually, that's right. Your mom is she a vegetarian or is she actually full blown vegan?
She's not. She says she's not vegan. Sometimes she has to take supplements, like to have animal products in it. Sometimes she has some cream in her coffee, and she has leather shoes. So she says, "Don't call me vegan," because she doesn't feel that that's correct. But for her, it's like a for her in her mind, it's like an ethical thing for
Yeah,
her. But she doesn't. She doesn't say don't eat. She doesn't tell me not what to eat. Not. She doesn't tell me what I'm doing is bad. She's happy that I'm healthy and I'm losing weight and I'm doing well. So she's a not like the rest.
I had
But it is an ideology.
I seen an interview with someone, and it might have been Dr. Chapey too, but
Yeah.
someone who had been diagnosed with MS,
Yeah.
and they had been vegan, and their
Oh,
whole family
I
had been
saw
vegan,
that. I saw
and
that.
she just kind of accidentally became carnivore, and
Yeah.
she like it was that. Did you see it where she
Yeah.
went to the butcher? She's like, I've never bought a steak. I don't know how to cook a steak, but
Yes.
I think it's the only thing I can eat.
Right.
And she talked about how in the beginning she felt kind of conflicted, right?
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but so much of that, if you can, so much of that is culture, or I mean, some people come to it outside of culture. But I was raised again in rural Illinois, and
Yeah.
there was no issues with eating meat. So I never had to deal with any of those obstacles. That's what I've always loved to eat anyway. When I
Me
finally
too.
thought, wait, I can just eat meat and cheese and bacon and eggs, and I can like
Mm.
lose weight. I thought, well, that's got to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's try that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. JD Morgan, eating some comfortably stuffed and still lost 40 pounds.
Yep.
Huzzah.
There you go. I mean, that is, uh, it's what I do. In fact, I think again, people probably overcomplicate in the beginning because, and I probably did some a little bit. You're still thinking about how many calories you're eating, or what and it is. It's all just so unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, I mean, in the beginning, yeah, not calories, but you do have to do some things different. You can't eat between 3 times a day and then 3 times in between your meals and eat at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it's not. But the counting calories part and stuff is or portion control. All of that's counterproductive.
Right. Yeah. Plus, on carnivore, there's no way you're going to eat 6 times a day. It's impossible.
No, no,
Unless you're eating like a bite and then you go eat another bite, but you got to eat
yeah,
till you're comfortably stuffed.
yeah.
Let's see. Would you know if there's something like too much fat or protein? If you feel nauseated and you want to, and your stomach hurts, that's the point you've eaten too much fat and protein.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have. I think you could. I mean, I suppose you could, but I think what you have to do is eat food that would be not whole food, that
Mm,
would not be the way it was normally found. I mean,
right.
yes, if you eat only rabbit, right? Yeah, it's too lean. It's too not enough fat, and it's totally unhealthy. But if you have some mix, if all you eat is boneless, skinless chicken breast, you're not getting enough fat.
Right.
But if you're eating 70, 30 ground beef, the only thing I've heard people say is that if you're really on carnivore pretty strictly, that you can watch your stool, and if you have too much fat, that affects that. Not enough fat, it affects that. So,
Oh,
but
yeah, that's a good point. I have eaten too much food, too much, and I
fat,
felt nauseated after, too much fat and was nauseated
yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
But still, it didn't come out as diarrhea. I think my body's been like, oh, you've had diarrhea for years. You're fine now.
yeah, yeah.
Let's
But I
see.
think generally, and I don't think it even has to be every day. It's not like you got to. Again, you like if you have leaner stuff on Tuesday, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just again, no animal does that, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and even even current hunter gatherer groups, right? If they happen to kill 4 chickens tomorrow, they don't care that it's not 70-30, right? They're just eating them,
Yeah.
and probably raw eggs, but I don't know that. So you eat what you've got, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you do the best you can, and don't get too stressed out.
Yeah, exactly. JD Morgan, if you have a Trader Joe's near you, they have sardines and spring water and are reasonably
Okay.
priced as well. Next time I visit, I will go to Trader Joe's and buy some
How
sardines.
how I wish that I had
Me
my
too.
Trader Joe's bag. No, what
Oh, okay.
after my sardine challenge, I have not eaten a sardine since. It's been a while. But one of my daughters bought. She was at Trader Joe's. There's one near her, and they have a Trader Joe's sardine bag, like shopping bag, So she bought me one. I told her I
Oh,
was going to hang it up in the background when I get a more permanent place to make videos.
nice, nice.
I should have had it with me.
Next time, did you guys exercise when you start carnivore? Not on purpose. I I
Not on
started
purpose.
walking more. I got off the couch more. Like I'm not a couch potato anymore, and so I'm moving my body more. With a week on carnivore, my revitalization for cleaning my house came. That's some exercise. But no, I go to the pool a lot. My friend Nicole here, she knows that. I go to the pool a lot with the kids. But that's like swimming around a little bit, playing with the kids. But that's way more exercise than I was getting way before. That's why I said not on purpose. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I hate exercise like the plague. I did none. However, um, which was probably fine originally. I actually have just started back doing some resistance training, which I used to say I'm starting any day. I actually have started last week, so I think it's good to do. But I think in the beginning, the issue is if again, I'm 5'6". Then I would have been, 4 years ago, I would have been 55. I'm 59 now. 5'6", 55, 60 years old. You weigh 270 pounds. You know what exercise you're doing? I mean, breathing. That is the exercise. You're not going to be doing that stuff. And the great thing about it is, if you do really strict keto or you do carnivore, you will lose weight. Your body's going to heal. The inflammation's going to go away. You're going to feel better. And eventually, even if all you do is begin to move more,
Mhm.
but you will start to do that once you drop some of that weight, right? You'll start to feel better.
Right.
If someone would have told me you've got to do 30 minutes a day and be a vegan, I'd say, okay, well, never mind. I'm going to Taco Bell. That's not going to happen, right? But now, once you feel good, I do think it's actually I think it's a great idea to do, 2-3 days a week of high intensity, short periods of time, but high intensity exercise to build bone and muscle. Because as you get older, you're going to want it. And the older you get, the harder it is to develop it.
Okay.
But until you get to the point to where you've lost a bunch of weight and you feel good, I mean, I wouldn't. I never did. I mean, I never did any. So
There you go. This question's for you. Do you know Sean Carey?
Sean Carey.
Oh, I thought it was an inside joke. What does Chuck have against the avocado?
Okay. First of all, I was confused because I thought the question was asking if I knew Sean Carey.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was asking you.
I'm new at this. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. What do I have against the avocado? I maybe that's referring to the keto diet. I
Okay.
honestly, I don't really have anything against the keto. I lost 55 pounds doing keto. But I think the only thing now is that it is important to define terms, not so that you beat people up, but just so that you know what you're talking about
Right.
when you're having conversations. So when I say keto, some people think that means you just go to the store and you buy everything labeled keto. And in my estimation, that is not keto, and you're not going to be successful doing that long term. If you can, that's fine. So no, I don't have anything against vegetables. I've never liked them particularly well. And so to cut them out, again, we will add back in, like I said earlier, onions or green peppers in eggs, or, I had 3 cherry tomatoes this year. Actually, they were yellow, but they're cherry tomatoes called Sundrops. I have blueberries on occasion,
Yeah.
but I don't miss any of that, right?
Okay.
My wife eats more vegetables than I do. But I think the issue with keto is only if what you're doing is not eating whole foods. I think if you're eating whole foods and you're doing keto and those vegetables don't bother you, I mean, I don't have anything at all against it. And I think a lot of people come into carnivore, or mostly carnivore or ketovore or whatever you want to call it, beginning at keto. I mean, that's what I did. Like, the thought of just being all meat. Like, first of all, carnivore is not all meat,
Yeah.
but that's the mentality. If
Sure.
I would have thought, oh, I don't want. I mean, I don't want to just eat meat, even though it's mostly what I do now. But if people do keto, I've got no issues with that whatsoever, as long as it works for you and you can do it.
Right.
If you do 75% of what's best, it is absolutely life-changing, more than you will ever believe.
Right.
And if that's the best, if that's where you want to live, I live there, man, because you're going to add decades to your life, whether you're doing keto or not. Keto, carnivore, whatever. So
great. I want to pop this comment up. You and Sophie's talk on your channel was a smash hit. Yay! I had so much fun. I hope we can do it again in September.
I was going to say I didn't remember having Sophie on my channel.
It was me. And I was on their channel, and they were on my channel, and Sophie's awesome. And so is Jonathan. All right, so here's my arch nemesis. Where'd she go? Hi, Nicole. Thank you for popping over. No, it's not my arch nemesis. So, Nicole, how many subscribers do you have? I am at 654. 654. Let me know. I'm ready for that cow brain. But hopefully you eat a Pop-Tart. Okay, here we go. She's not my arch nemesis. We have like a bunch of stuff scheduled together, actually. I'm looking for, let's see. Kim Lane is here. Hey, y'all. Hey, Kim, I got stuff with her. She is a nurse and she does carnivore.
Yes, I have seen her on one or two streams of group streams that you guys have done. Yeah,
she is awesome. From her dad is from the same place as my dad, Evansville, Indiana. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Learn something new every day. Okay. Guess what I'm eating? A fat ribeye. That's awesome. Here, let's do Jonathan. I don't sleep. Popular stream tonight. Aw, thank you. Brooke says, I just pulled my local paper and legislators want to impose water limits on livestock. We live in a dairy capital of the states. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, that's for, yes, I wish these evil people could be stopped. We got to eat more steak. That's my solution. Make them produce more cows. In-N-Out. Is this really In-N-Out burger?
No, but In-N-Out does watch my channel because I've seen comments from them. I don't think it's the official In-N-Out. But
let us know. Are you the official In-N-Out burger? Will you send us some? Do either of you guys have an opinion on Mikhaila Peterson's line diet? Yes. Fantastic for her. Man, she got her dad, who's a psychologist, off of his psych meds. Well done. And also handled all of her body problems. I wish I could do line diet. I'm not that good.
Jordan Peterson and his daughter Mikhaila both, which I've watched a lot of Jordan Peterson, a lot of Dr. Jordan Peterson, but also I've seen Mikhaila give her story. She looks radically different from when she was younger in a good way. And yes, absolutely life altering for them. I think Jordan probably could loosen his up a little bit, but Mikhaila has such catastrophic autoimmune disease that even like the smallest amount of soy will like set her back for weeks, right? So, but no, I'll tell you what, it's the difference between her living and just being alive, because she utterly was a wreck, right? So it's absolutely transformed her life and his as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's amazing, actually.
But I don't want to live there. So, I mean, that's the whole thing. Could I do the lion diet? I think because we all decide that. Well, I talked to Professor Barquet. He said the same thing. Like, he does really pretty strict carnivore about 95 out of 100 days a year, right? Or 95 out of 100 days. Yeah. He said, do I feel the best if I do absolutely strict carnivore all the time and cut out everything, like, black pepper, spices, coffee? He said, yeah, but I don't want to live there. Right. And so we all kind of find that place where, I am really, will I cut out more in the future? I might, but I don't know. So lion diet's awesome if you want to do it. And if you can live there, it's probably really good.
Yeah. I mean, if I did, I could totally do it if I could drink coffee. So can I do coffee plus lion plus coffee?
You can. Yeah. The rule is you can do anything you want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a grown up.
including eat yourself into the grave with Twinkies and Ho-Hos. But it's not recommended, right? But you can do it.
You can do it. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Nicole's at 7:09. You guys,
Seven.
She is my arch nemesis, but you can all go subscribe to her channel if you haven't. Just for the next 300 subscribers, she's my arch nemesis. Even though if I look at my calendar, I think we have like 5 live streams scheduled. Okay, let's see. Brooke, I'm looking up what cow brains taste like. Oh man, I guess I'm gonna find out. But all joking aside, I've been asking before I made this challenge my husband to find cow brains so I can do a video about it. But there we go.
You do want them cooked.
Oh, probably very cooked in a ton of bacon grease. Okay, I'm glad we don't need offal. What's offal? Do you know what that means?
Entrails.
What?
Entrails.
Is
Like,
that
internal
Oh.
parts, like intestine linings,
Oh, okay.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, so
Although,
yeah.
if you have sausage in what would have been the small intestine as that casing,
Yeah.
it is one of the absolute best sources of collagen you can get.
Oh,
It's
interesting. I didn't know
like
that.
great food. The other thing is you do get lots of organ meats, lots of fat, a lot of gristle. Not modern sausage full of maple flavor and
Right.
dextrose is not that I never eat. Well, not maple flavor. I try to avoid that, but not that I never eat that. Bratwurst or Italian sausage, but it's not quite the same as if more old school. And they have artificial casings now. But
Yeah, I hear they make something. I can't eat it anymore, but it's like a blood sausage, but it has rice in it. And my husband's aunt makes it. It's delicious, actually. I tried it. When she makes this, it's delicious, but it uses the casing of the intestines.
yes,
It's delicious, but no more. I like pate. I like liver pate. I think it's duck or pork liver pate. That's yummy. Ew. I grew up eating Oscar Mayer liver sausage, so it kind of is like that. I like liver too. I like chicken livers with bacon.
chicken livers. My wife rolls them in pork panko, which is not really. It's just pork rinds ground in the dust, and in an egg wash and fried in bacon grease, and they're really good.
Oh, nice.
And they're from chickens we raised. So
okay, so it's gonna be better. It's gonna
even better.
Really know what they're eating.
You can pet them first. Good
chicken.
No, good chicken.
Yeah.
How does your liver look today?
Yeah.
No.
I don't like chickens. I don't actually like chicken meat. I would prefer not to eat that, but I will eat chicken livers. Scottish black pudding. I don't know what that is, but it's
Scottish black pudding, probably made with blood.
Oh,
We're cutting. I'm actually. We raise a lot of chickens, and then we sell a portion of them and keep the rest. But I am probably cutting back some. I used to, again, years ago. I wanted to eat the chicken breast, rolled in flour and fried. Now I eat dark meat, but I prefer. I don't like it nearly as well as beef or bacon or other stuff. So, and it doesn't have quite the fat, and there are maybe some other minor things, but we're gonna cut back some. But we have a crap load of chicken right now, so I will be eating it for the next year at some level. We have that much, but my wife fries it in bacon grease, no flour, just fry crisp skin and bacon. It's really good. It's just the chicken never been my favorite. So Carnivore Ron, I need to have him come down. He only lives not that far from me.
Oh yeah, Ron, you guys should go do a video. You're in
and I can give him some chicken.
Yeah, yeah, he likes chicken.
He likes chicken.
So, guys, we got another question. I think it popped up on my phone, but it hasn't. Oh, hey Kip, thanks for stopping by, saying hi. Do you miss anything you used to eat? No.
Yeah, do I miss anything? There are things I don't crave anything, so I don't actually have cravings for things anymore. Is there ever anything that I think I wouldn't? I've not eaten pizza for a long time, but I do. Again, I have a maybe a slightly different philosophy than some people. So the one thing that I do is it doesn't sound good. Uh, I have I'm really strict between holidays, but on holidays I have no food rules. So if there was something I absolutely wanted, I would just eat it on a holiday. Now I don't do that every holiday because like I've only done it once this year. Um, but that's the thing. If there's something I really do want, I will just have. I had cheesecake on Father's Day and a glass of red wine. I felt absolutely like crap like 4 hours later, but I ate it. But generally, I give myself the choice on those days. So, I really love pizza, but I don't crave pizza. So, would I ever eat a piece? It's being an odd Thanksgiving meal, but, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Like here, we don't have Thanksgiving in Colombia, which is very sad for me. And I did like it one year very fast. I did a Christmas dinner that was like Thanksgiving, and it just wasn't the same. Like it's like a different culture because I was the only gringo. I was the only American to whatever. But Christmas is here or New Year's here is like booze all night and dancing all night. So
Yeah.
this will be my first year where I'm like, I don't know if I want to actually do that. Maybe the dancing, but not the. I don't know about the booze because I don't know how crappy I'm gonna feel, and I don't know if I want to deal with it.
I had at Father's Day, it had been a long time, and I had not eaten. I was often doing one meal a day. So my son-in-law took me and his father out to a nice restaurant,
Yeah,
and I ordered a 14-ounce ribeye. I mean, they had mashed potatoes and all that. I just got a ribeye, but I did order a glass of red wine.
yeah,
And so they bring me my wine first. I took about 2 sips, and I thought, I better not drink any more of this, like
sure,
until I get food in me. Right.
yeah,
And so totally different from, again, I hadn't drank anything for quite some time, and I hadn't eaten that day, and I've been doing carnivore at that point for quite some time. But yeah, it was, and I did have a piece of cheesecake, and I did feel horrendous. Like 6 hours later, I was in terrible pain. I probably could have had one or the other, but not both. But so even on the days when I eat, I just don't go crazy on those days. Like at Thanksgiving, I might have a yeast roll, right? I've not had one for a long time,
yeah,
or I might not. But I just give myself the option. I can do it if I want. Usually, I don't, but
yeah,
it keeps me. I don't like to feel constrained. It's
right,
probably a flaw of mine. So it allows me not to be constrained,
right.
but
I
still
think,
keep me on track. It's like
yeah,
in between holidays, it's absolutely strict. No rule breaking, no cheating. Can't do it.
yeah, exactly. So we have a Queenie. I'm feeling myself. I'm on day 0. Tomorrow's the first. Dirty binge has to be over for me. All right, you can do it.
Oh, they're on day 0. Okay.
Yeah, but this person was on carnivore for a long time and then fell off the bandwagon. But I believe she can get back on and
Yes.
tomorrow. And we're all here for you. And life happens, shit happens. You just got to get
I,
back
abs-
on track.
I came off the rails, gained back 35 pounds, and muddled around for a year at 225. It was. I mean, and you just feel absolutely horrendous when you do that.
Right?
But look, it doesn't matter. You just start again.
Yeah.
This works, which is the great thing. I'd already experienced some level of success. It works, and the only way it doesn't work is if you quit.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that really is it. The
Yeah.
only way it doesn't work is if you quit. You don't have to do anything except don't eat processed food, seed oils, and crap.
Yeah.
Right?
Go through your kitchen tonight with a garbage bag and take all those types of foods out of there. There you go. Throw it away. No regrets.
Or
Throw it
take it to
away.
the food bank.
Or
Give it to the neighbors you don't like.
yeah, give it to them. Hate those guys. I want to say hi, Rick. Rick is here. Rick, charge your Mopar, 40-year carnivore in 6 days. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. What is a good one-liner that you would say to someone that spoke to you for only a few minutes to make them consider trying a carnivore? I think she means diet, not dirt.
Carnivore, baby
Carnivore dirt.
carnivore dirt.
Is that cow poop? I don't say anything. Only when my friends ask me why do I look so good do I bring it up because I don't want to seem like the okay, I have to say something politically correct. I was going to say something not politically correct. I don't want to just seem too pushy about it, because I will start just talking about it crazy. That's why I'm talking to you guys and not anybody else.
Yeah. I think the best thing is if you've done it. I watched a video about making videos where he said, do something and then talk about it. Like don't talk about it if you've not done it.
Right.
But usually in the beginning, we find something that actually begins to work for us, and we do want to talk to people about that. But I think it's much easier if you've actually had some amount of success or some long term. You've been doing it for a while. I think then it's much easier. But generally, I tell people mostly about my weight loss because that's the thing that most people are concerned about initially. Even though it's not even. I mean, it's certainly absolutely important and life changing, but there's so much more, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But I usually just leave with that. I mean, if somebody asks me, "Oh, you look really good," I've lost, whatever.
Yeah.
And if they ask me how, then I can spend the next 45 minutes telling them because that's what I do. I love to talk. I'm going to have an incredibly difficult time doing a live stream because of the fact that I can't read the comments and talk at the same time.
I don't worry. I'm covering it. Let's see.
Cooking iguana.
Yeah. He ate one for dinner, he says. Give it to the ducks. I think that is the garbage food, the bad food. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
The ducks don't even want it.
The ducks don't even want it. Never had iguana. Crocodile steak is quite nice, though.
I've eaten many things, but neither one of those.
Neither one of those. I used to have an iguana pet. Doesn't mean I wouldn't eat an iguana. Sawa, garbage food is starting to taste bad because I eat so much steak. Yeah, exactly. Get rid of the garbage tonight. It's going to change your life again. Kip says he stopped mentioning carnivore. I think he's talking about carnivore to everyone unless they ask. Yeah, exactly.
That's mostly what I do.
To my husband. He's happy.
Anyone that knows me that hasn't seen me for some time, they always ask, and then I will tell them. Or if I see somebody and they, if there's some way to move to the conversation, but I just, I don't walk up to people in the street and say, "How are you doing? Why don't you start eating meat only?"
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I will get back to the other comments, but I'm gonna pop Kim's up here in a second. I should have been specific. If they ask you and you only have a couple of minutes to give them some advice, they're asking.
Okay.
Okay. I'll let you take this.
So one line. Can I get two?
Just a couple.
I would. You know what? I've really come to like the fact that a couple of things. I guess one is I often tell people that I do the absolute opposite of everything the government ever said. I eat when I'm hungry and I eat until I'm stuffed and I lost 104 pounds. And then they will ask me what I did. If they know kind of what I've been doing, I mean, I really love the fact that humans are the only animals on the entire planet that is obese outside of animals in captivity. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is we don't eat what is appropriate for us.
Right.
And then again, I try to say something to where they then would say, "Well, what do you mean?" And okay, well, right. I mean, like the grocery store has 90% of foods that didn't exist 200 years ago, literally didn't exist 200 years ago. Or vegetable seed oil is not natural. It's not good. But, so anyway, those are the things that's what I do.
Sure. I have this book on my shelf, actually, The Power of Your Metabolism by Frank Suarez, and I read it, and basically seed oils were made to fatten turkeys faster.
Yeah.
So then they decided to give it to us. And then they had to change the color of margarine so it looks like butter because it looks
yes. So back in the day, when World War II, I was not alive then. Might be hard to believe, but my grandparents were. And when they first started giving out commodities, you would get a thing that was called oleo. My grandmother still called all margarine oleo forever. It literally was white like lard and came with a coloring packet to make it yellow. And also, further back in the day, skim milk, which is now what, go drink some skim milk. They'd literally give skim milk to hogs to fatten them.
Oh, wow.
So corn and skim milk will make a pig so fat it can't walk. So eat a bunch of whole grain and skim milk. It's exactly the opposite of what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's what you see when you go to Walmart.
Throw in some seed oil. Throw in some seed
Right.
oil for a lot of inflammation, and you
Yeah.
you have a recipe for life. I mean,
Oh man. Oh man. Are you getting more sensitive barbecue meat because of the flavors which charcoal gives? I've been getting more and more nauseated. No, I go and eat a grilled steak every weekend, at least once.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
I'm
have.
not, no.
I love the smell of charring meat.
Mm, yeah,
So,
I do
and I
too.
love to eat
No,
it.
I don't. I don't know, but I wonder if make sure they're not using additional stuff on the
Yes,
meat.
yeah,
That's not just meats and salt and charcoal.
yeah. There might be something even in a dry rub that might be bothering you or something.
Yeah. Um, it's funny how humans forget we are carnivores. Yeah, right? It's all the propaganda stating the otherwise. I call it propaganda. Yellow 5. Yeah, that's a coloring.
Yes, that probably was what came with your packet of Oleo.
Yuck, 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 yuck. Seed oils kill ducklings. Someone fed them French fries and got sick. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
There
I'm
you
not
go.
surprised by that.
Oh, man, I found, okay, embarrassing time. So I always joke, I found this photo today before, we're going to end soon, but I found a photo of when I was 10 years old, and I always joke that I ate French fries every day of my life. But I found this photo today from 1993 of me and my dad. I hope you can see it, but you can see how chubby I was. This is the French fry face.
Yeah,
French fry face in Chicago. 10 years old, 1993. French fries, hot dogs, pizza, but I think mainly French fries. So
yeah.
my dad, I would get $1 from him like almost every day to go buy French fries. And then you're addicted to something, you're gonna lie about it. He's like, I'm not giving you $1 for French fries. I'm like, I'll go buy iced tea. I was addicted to French fries. Okay. So I'm sorry the ducks
Well,
got
I was too. And apple fritters. I used to say I like my fruit, an apple a day, sliced into small pieces and put in a fritter, deep fried
Oh
with some
yeah.
icing on it.
Oh man,
I,
apple
I,
fritters.
I would eat apple fritters, pizza, just total trash. But not anymore. And I don't miss those things. So,
I don't know why we even think that's food. Like, you
well, yeah.
understand?
Well, because we were given that from when we were young, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, exactly. And by the
so
way, I have nothing against how my parents raised me. It's just what we thought was the right thing. What was funny though is that my sister was the only skinny one. We were
yeah.
all very fat, except my sister was the skinny one. But you don't think, you just don't know. Like, yeah, I'm fat. Maybe I should stop eating French fries. And people told me that. Maybe I should stop eating so many French fries. But maybe just don't eat French fries.
Well, and things, even my grandparents, my great grandparents, which I knew both on my mother's side, they back again. There was a time when the issue in the country was malnutrition.
Yeah.
My grandfather was also 5'6", 5'7". His draft card for World War II was he weighed 141 pounds.
Oh wow.
I weigh 161, and the lightest I've ever been in my life was 153.
Yeah.
And that was when I was 19. He weighed 141, which is nothing. That was so. Yeah, they actually, the government starts talking about eating bread or, eat. Yeah, well, if you're starving to death, anything's better than nothing. And then it just slowly changes. It's even hard for me to think back to the time where, there was basically no internet when I got my first computer back in, 92, 1991. There was AOL, right? You've
I
got mail.
remember.
I mean, you got so many CDs for AOL, you could like decorate the Christmas tree with them. There was no smartphones. There was no texting
Right.
until early 2000, and you had to text on the keypad. And
Oh
yet
yeah.
today, I shoot my videos with an iPhone 13 mini, right? So things change just so quickly, and we don't realize. And that's exactly what happened with food, right? It was, here's some, this is Oleo. Now we have white bread. Now everybody buys Cornish cross white double-breasted chicken.
Right.
But those things just happen, and in a few years, it's just like, yeah, it's just part of everyday life. And all of a sudden, you know, the current statistic is 41.9% of people in the U.S. are actually obese, and the overweight or obese together is 74%.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's
And I don't
unbelievable.
remember seeing that in Chicago in the 90s, but
Oh no! And when I
was
grew up,
overweight.
yes, I was one of the few kids in school that was overweight, and
Yeah.
now it is like that is the unusual thing, is if you're not really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. No, I visited last year and I was like 215 pounds, and I'm walking around in Northern Illinois, a Walmart, maybe Wisconsin, like around Beloit or something like that. And I'm walking around and I'm like, oh, I'm not so fat. I'm skinnier than a lot of these people. But that's the wrong mindset. That's
Yeah,
a terrible mindset to have.
we my daughter and son-in-law who live in, well, they live, yeah, Oklahoma, Tinker Air Force Base. I was out there, and this was one of the things that really hit me, because I'm like you. I would have my daughters say, and not when I weighed 270, but when I was weighing 240, it was, sometimes they'd say something about a fat person. It's like, but you're not really that fat. And it's like, well, I guess no, not compared to, like, the Macy's Day Parade balloons, but short of that, but Billy took me and onto the base, to the exchange there, right? The store on the base.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking around through there, and I probably weighed 225, 230. I mean, something like that. Not nearly my heaviest. And I realized, because I'll tell you, it's like going back in time to the 60s and 70s. Now everybody in the whole place is in the Air Force. They're all young.
Yeah.
They're all like fit. They're all working out, right? And so I'm like the only fat person in the whole store, probably. And maybe not, but it seemed like that to me.
Okay.
And it does make you think. I realized that day, it's like, man, this is like kind of bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, because that's what happens. Normal is just what you see every day, and you accept that as normal.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it becomes normal.
Yeah.
And then, but it's not a good place to be. I mean, sometimes it's good to see the shock, which is what it was like for me.
Sure. Yeah, it's better to see the shock and then realize you should do something about it. So, hey, we're in an hour 40 here. It's that goes by very fast. Do you have any plugs you want to put in? I'm going to put in a plug for something.
The only thing, you can certainly go to my channel. I've got videos. Most of them they're awesome. According to my daughters, they are incredibly underwatched, undersubscribed, underliked. So
criminally undersubscribed.
The only thing, I did my interview with Professor Barquet last night, and I haven't edited it yet. I'm going to put that into 3 parts because it was an hour. I'm actually going to cut it up into 3 videos. It's kind of where the sections fall, what we talked about. I plan on posting that. I'm doing triple BB and E, and I have started resistance training. So I'm actually going to do follow-up videos for those in the coming weeks. But that's it.
Nice. Okay. My plug is I have a live stream tomorrow night we're calling it the Keto Cookout, and that was created by Adam from Carnivore Today. So it's me, Adam, Homesick Buckeye, Russ, and then Wick. Hold on, Wick goes carnivore. That's Brian, and also a new channel, a cool dude. He's lost a lot of weight. I think like 200 pounds. Carnivore Damon, and you can come and check out our live stream tomorrow night. It's bound to be a little wacky, wackier than this, because Russ from the Homesick Buckeye will just start singing. So there you go.
So I do just want to say thank you very much for inviting me. It was really fun. I've not attempted any live stream. I guess I'm about 10 weeks. Tomorrow will be 10 weeks since I started my channel. So
wow, that's awesome.
It is all pretty new.
That's great.
I am pretty it is still just shocking to me, honestly. So,
Okay.
yeah, I did a video yesterday that I think right now has about 3,500 views. It posted Sunday morning. So yeah,
Nice.
it's just insane. But you know, and I'm
You're
still
doing
working with
great.
pretty low grade equipment. I'm going to be upgrading sometime.
Yeah. I
But
think more important is people can hear you. I think that's most
well,
important.
yes, yeah, the microphone is the first thing.
Yeah. Hey, and
Hopefully,
everybody
it's not too
subscribe
bad.
to me also if you're not
Yes,
already.
yes. Hit the subscribe button because eating fried brains. I I don't. Not only do I not want to do it, I don't even want to watch.
Oh no. Then
Well,
yeah, let's get me to 1,000 peeps. Thanks so
I
much.
would watch if you make the video, but I'm just saying it might be better watching someone eat a Pop Tart.
Yeah, that's true. The
Me
reason I
not.
put brains is because I don't think it's gonna make me feel bad. But the Pop Tart is gonna make me feel
The
terrible.
Pop Tart's not very good for you.
It's gonna make me feel terrible. Okay, well, I guess that's all for tonight. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everyone who came here, chatted,
Yes.
commented, been with us on this live stream. There you
If
go.
you've
That's all I
stayed to the bitter end, you are
got.
greatly appreciated because even my wife and daughters have left.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know if they have. They may still be here. I haven't read the comments.
Okay, no.
I've
I mean, I don't know
I've
what
been
your wife's
negligent.
name is, but what's your wife's name?
She wouldn't have commented. I tried to get her to come online. She
Oh,
refuses.
yeah, me too.
Uh,
I've tried with my husband. Maybe one
so
day. All right. Well,
I
I'm
said
gonna.
if I
Oh, sorry.
yes no
We'll
we're good we're
keep
good.
talking for another hour.
I won't talk anymore. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I had a great time. Anytime, and maybe sometime you can come on my channel. I'll do a
Absolutely.
live stream. I haven't done it yet, and but yeah, anytime. Absolutely, let me know.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.